Good morning and welcome to Real Talk with Tamara. As you guys come into the room, please hit the like button. Also, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. I hope that you guys are doing okay on this early morning. I always express the importance of hitting the like button because the like button helps to keep the video in the algorithm. Like, share, subscribe. Okay. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Okay. Um, that helps to keep the video in the algorithm. Okay. This morning I wanted to do a short video because as I did a video, I believe it was just yesterday or the day before, about another child being hurt. And I was like, God, this cannot become a trend. And sure enough, a 3-year-old has been unalived um, by a family acquaintance. And I want to read to you all in the Whitehaven area. And that's something because I grew up in the Whitehaven. When we moved out of South Memphis, in which Whitehaven now is kind of considered South Memphis too, right? Um, but when we moved out of the trenches, we moved to the Whitehaven area to a very beautiful area. And it's unfortunate that because when many years ago when we moved there, it was very beautiful, very beautiful. The area that my mother lives in is still very nice. Um, but hey, this is sad. I said the other day that this could not become a trend. And I think it's sad that people have no regards for human life and definitely not children. I even hear rappers now in which they got to be more responsible. Say, and you have to understand they're putting this stuff into the atmosphere, and you would think that people would know better, but we're living in a time now where people are very sick. They don't have any guidance, they don't know any better, they've never had anybody to tell them anything, and so they kind of look up to what the rappers say, right? And I've heard rappers say, if I can't get them killed, take out everything moving. If kill the take out the child, because if the daddy a rat, the child is a mice or something like that, which is absolutely pathetic. Okay. And innocent children are losing their lives, and it's devastating to me because, like I said, I love kids so much, and children are the future. But babies, okay. I want to read this from News Channel 3. It says a 3-year-old girl was shot and unalived in Whitehaven Tuesday night, according to Memphis police. At around 11 p.m., officers responded to a shooting victim at Methodist South. The victim arrived by private vehicle from the 304 block of West Winchester Place. The child was pronounced deceased at the hospital. The suspect is known by the family. Okay. Um, this is sad on so many levels. Oh my God, this is sad on so many levels. Um, of course, they didn't, they said the baby arrived by private vehicle, which means a family member had to have taken the child. But y'all, what is this world coming to? What is this world coming to, y'all? What is it coming to? People are so barbaric and sick. I've never seen such low vibrational people. I was looking at this guy who used to be in the videos of this rapper that is deceased now. And the reason I know this rapper is because he used to be my Facebook friend, and I found out that he was very close. His oldest brother still runs heavy with my cousins to this very day. This rapper named Rich Lord, right? And there was this guy that used to always be in his video. Okay, he seemed to be really jovial and funny, and it's funny because I don't know if he's been looking at my social media, but he popped up. Okay, on as in my feed. Okay, and okay, so you look at a lot of Rich Lord videos. He put out videos. They're from like 7 years ago because I think he's been deceased now for about 5 years. And this person in this video is very jovial. And I was like, oh wow, that's that guy, that's was always clowning around or whatever. And just looking at him now, it's like he was still trying to clown around, but you could tell that he's on something. His eyes looked like they was, just like he wanted to go to sleep at any minute. Um, he was still trying to tell jokes, but he had this slurred speech, and it was like that on every video. I said, "Oh my God!" It's like people have become so barbaric because everybody is on something. They're on something, and I always talk about how when people are on this lean and stuff, that's liquid heroin. I never thought that people would be taking fentanyl and things of that nature, and you know, um, I had no idea what fentanyl was until one of my friends that worked for the PD, the police department, said, "Well, Tam, you know what fentanyl is on it?" I said, "No." He said, "Horse tranquilizer." I said, "You got to be kidding me." He said, "Yeah." He said, "That's the reason why a lot of my officers um are they're always advised to be very careful when they're doing searches, right? Pat downs, because if they put their hands in fentanyl will overdose you, and it has happened to officers instantly, right? And a whole lot of people that take it. So why would they introduce fentanyl to the black community, and we feel like we have to take it? Now it's a matter of, when people say, "Well, look at what they put into the black community," but y'all, we got to be more responsible. All we got to say is no. Just say no. Ain't nobody saying no no more. Everybody want to have this codependent personality. Just like with crack, what drugs gonna do to you before you take it. You see how it took down another person. Do you think you better than them? But everybody has a codependent personality. They codependent on something. They want to be coded. Well, I got all this pain. Well, taking drugs ain't gonna do nothing for your pain. And so I think it's sad. So they go into these drug rages, and everybody got issues, but people have had issues since the beginning of time. Hell, I got them. But I've never thought about, even with my issues, okay, going and taking nobody out, not unless they could become a threat to me. I'm gonna do what is necessary when a person is a threat to me, and being jealous of a person ain't no threat to me. Somebody just making me mad, it ain't no threat to me. Okay, now I'm slapping the shit out of them might be something else. Okay, I've thought about that. But as far as just going and thinking about taking out somebody's children and doing all kinds of evil stuff to people. I'm a sane person, and people are just not sane anymore. They're insane to the point where they're low down. When you're fixated consistently on doing evil and trying to do evil to people because you have some kind of fixation on them, you sick. Okay? And so people now, when they're jealous of people, when they're mad at people, they want to see them hurting. And they go now, well, you know what? Because I've heard people say, nah, doing something to them ain't gonna hurt them. Why don't you take their little kids out? Folks are sick. And so there has to be repercussions. They gotta sentence them to the extent when shit like this happen. Okay. And so the first thing people say, well, I wasn't crying to hurt the children, sis. Yes, you was. They say that when they trying to get out. It was an accident. Okay. So there has to be some real repercussions, because people just got a habit of violating people now. And they definitely, kids and old people are the most vulnerable. And those are the ones that they are fixated on now, especially children. It seems like to me, every other person feel like they're supposed to violate a child and take them out. And it's a damn shame before God. I was looking at a video of the little baby named Shania that was her mother had owed a guy. She was 4 years old, had owed a guy some debt, a drug dealer some debt. So what she did was she gave her daughter to pay him off, the 4 year old, to him. And he took that child, there were videos of the baby coming out, and she was so still. They had video at the hotel of him carrying her into the hotel. And when he brought her out, she was just so still. He had took that child in that hotel and violated her, and then turned around and took out and threw it in the garbage. And people got the nerve to call folks like that gangsters. That motherfucker ought to be gutted out and castrated and hung with his fucking guts hanging out. Okay? A bitch like that ought to be tied up and thrown in the lake. People are too comfortable with violating, and especially children, when they ain't got no stop about when they do something to a child, they ain't got no business on this earth. Okay? It's a darn shame before God what is going on. And I had just said the other day, this can't become a trend. It can't. Well, I was into it. It's some street shit. I was into her daddy or his daddy. So shit. His son, the baby was just casualty. That nigga gonna know not to play with me. How come the thugs ain't handling that? Instead, they fixated on putting bags on somebody like Young Dolph who flossing because they jealous, a bunch of motherfucking sissies. Anytime you jealous of another man because they flossing, you's a bitch. But you supposed to be a gangster. Stuff like that that's hurting children and women and shit like that, that ain't even supposed to be allowed to walk around in hoods. But instead, they join right in with the supposed to be gangsters. I don't even see how women deal with nothing like that. I wouldn't even want them. I grew up around street dudes and gangsters. I know what they like, the real ones. And they don't tolerate stuff like that. So this stuff got to stop. Okay? A 3-year-old baby, that's a baby, just like that 4-year-old the other day. Just like that lady the other day out of Mississippi, the 22-month-old. What is going on? It's a demonic force in the atmosphere. And folks so busy gossiping and lying and trying to get dirt on everybody else. How come they ain't putting the same energy towards trying to figure out what could be done about stopping stuff like this? It's a darn shame before God. Okay? But anyways, you guys, I just had to talk about this. This can't become a trend. It can't. And whoever it was, they need to be prosecuted to the extent, since everybody too sissified to handle it. They talk about street justice. How come these folks that's doing this to these kids ain't getting no street justice? No, because it's supposed to be the quote unquote gangsters that's doing it. You's a bitch. Don't no gangsters do that. Okay? But anyways, you guys, I want you guys to please like, share, and subscribe. If you would like to support the channel, you could definitely support the channel via Cash App, okay? I'll talk with you later.